Morning, James. Well, crunch time, isn't it?
Yeah, really important game for us tomorrow night. Really looking forward to it. We've had a good couple of days, and we just got to try and do our best to get a positive result tomorrow night.
Do you think you'll have to win the last three to have any chance?
Yeah, it's going to have to be close to that. It's going to have to be you're looking around that 7 to 9 points return from these next couple of games.
So really, no room for error, no margin for error now.
No, there never really is. But we just got to try and we just got to do what we know we can do. If we do what we did against Sutton, and at the moments in games we've done particularly well, we know we'll be okay. It's with 3 points outside the playoffs with 3 games to go, 9 points to play for. We've obviously got to go for maximum points, and that's important for us.
Can you put your finger on what's happened lately? Lost 3 of the last 4. I mean, every game is different, but what is it? Do you think injuries have caught up with you? Can you identify a common problem?
No, it's just. Sorry. Yeah, obviously we need to score more goals and concede less. Is in its simplistic form, but again, it's kind of parts of performances I've been really pleased with. Parts of performances I know we can do better, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to eradicate those errors in moments of games to ensure that we can get the results that we feel as though we deserve. Let's face fact, the first half was Crawley. That wasn't up there with the standards that we set. I know that. Other games, I think we've done okay. We just need to ensure that we can put a 90-minute, 95-minute performance together, and have a little bit of luck as well.
It's a trite question, but I'll ask it. Is pressure getting to the players? Has that been a factor?
No, because I think the pressure's always been here. If you know what I mean, it's sense of that they've been there, done it. There's a lot of experience in the room in dealing with pressure. I've been around it for all my first team coaching career, so I know what it's like. So it's just one of those things where we've got to try and just put those little bits together to ensure we get the results we deserve.
Can somebody go on mute? I can hear somebody talking in the background.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, it's Rob Cole. If you could go on mute, Rob. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to say, James, you've been booked twice in the last few games for different things.
Yeah.
Is pressure getting to you?
No, not at all. Well, the first booking is for celebrating, and as the referee's come over to me, he's come to apologise to me as he's booking me, and then the second one is because I've questioned where 4 minutes have come from. I haven't sworn at the referee. I haven't been disrespectful to the referee, to the fourth official in that sense. I think it's because of me running towards him was the issue. But like I said to him, I run a lot on the touchline, as Chris keeps telling me as well. But it's just one of those things that it's the passion, it's the heat of the moment. It's questioning where they only got 4 minutes from. But then I had a good chat with the head of referees to get an understanding of why that's the case, and just for me to learn as well.
You had a chat with the referee afterwards, or other referees?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I tend to do that because I know they got the hardest job in the world really for that. So it was me to get an understanding of where he got the 4 minutes from, and not what we thought was 6 or 7.
So how can you keep a cool head then? Because this is a time for cool heads. In a way now, in some ways the pressure's off you in a way, because you're now the outsiders for a playoff berth, whereas a few weeks ago maybe everybody was saying, well, you put look good for it.
Yeah, we there's always a mentality, a Welsh mentality of being the underdog, and I'm quite clear that we want to be in the playoffs. We want to be pushing for promotion, and we've got to try and do everything we can to that. And yeah, keeping a cool head is really important in this time.
So you don't want to be underdogs. That's what you're saying. You'd rather have the pressure of staying in there rather than chasing.
Yeah, I'd rather that. But there's always that mentality sometimes, that you always look at it. The Welsh are always seen as the underdogs. I always feel that sometimes. So I'd rather be in there, but we're chasing. And we're going to do everything we can to get in there.
And you'll also know, it's not clutching at straws, but the final games of a run-in like this, strange results happen, don't they?
They do. Strange things do happen in football, and I'm learning that as I go along. And I've learned it over my course of years that I've been involved. And you just don't know what can happen. All we've got to do is do everything we can to get a positive result tomorrow night, and we do that, and we put the heat on everybody else.
Have you got any of the injured coming back for tomorrow?
It's Ollie Cooper will be available tomorrow, but that he'll be on the bench, and his game time will be very limited to what we could hope for. But he's available for selection for the bench tomorrow.
How much of a lift is that, would you say, even for a cameo appearance?
Yeah, you always want your best players available, and you want that, and you need that. And Ollie's been terrific since I've been here anyway, and the three lads who I class as those three number 10s, if you like, Finn, James, and Ollie, have been terrific for us.
And it's fair to say that's the department where you've suffered most grievous injuries as well, isn't it? With Robbie Wilmot as well, and Jake Kane has been out for a while. Yeah,
that happens, and I suppose that's where we always want our best players available, and sometimes you're going to get injuries, and it's injuries which are out of your control as well. So when it's knocks, and so you look at Jake's was a rib injury, Robbie's is a knee injury, Coops is a loading injury. So it's kind of like, because they make games that he's played in a period of time, and so it's part and parcel of where we're at the minute. But again, everybody stepped up, and it's a collective effort all the time.
And just finally, what will be your message to the fans who've turned out in force in recent home games? Hasn't been enough in the home games. So what's the message for tomorrow?
I think it's to stick with us and to get behind the lads through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think that's important that they do that for us, and I'm sure they will. We need their support. I need their support, and I said it numerous times. They are our 12th man, and if we can get Ronnie Parade like we know it can be, no matter what the result, then we can have a positive step forward.
James, all the best to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you.
Morning, James.
Morning, mate. You all right?
Yeah, all good, all good.
Good.
You mentioned about sort of trust the process and that sort of thing. Has the process worked over the past month, would you say?
I believe so. It's just not on results side of it. It hasn't, because of we've not won enough games to stay in the playoffs. I'm fully aware of that, and ultimately we're judged on results. But it's a long-term project. You look at other clubs that have done it, tried to follow certain ways, and it takes a little bit longer than what you hoped. Again, it's only been 6-7 months that we've been following a certain way, and you hope that process is in place for years to come, that we'll see the rewards later on down the line.
And dare I say, pre-seasons are often invaluable for those sorts of things, drumming in, and maybe even having the flexibility within the processes, as it were. Yeah.
Pre-season will be an important time for me with the team, and my staff with the team and the club, and we put plans in place, and the club, the chairman Nigel, Darren have been terrific with me, really, in getting what we need to make it as best pre-season as we can, no matter what division we're in. But the important thing is that we're trying to develop a culture and a philosophy, a methodology, a way of doing it, that eventually, hopefully, we'll see the rewards long term.
And presumably, you'll be looking to, whatever the division you're in, you'll be looking for a Finn as type player, a Jake Kane player. They're the sort of blueprints that you're looking for next season, whatever happens.
Yeah, we're looking at it in all different departments, really. When you want the sprinkling of youth, the sprinkling experience, and you want all different kinds of areas covered. But I think it's clear to see that the team that we are at the minute, and a Newport County team, is full of high energy, athleticism, if you like, at certain point in certain departments, not all in certain, but a certain way of play that we want to play that's attractive to our fans, and a way that we want to keep getting 5,000 fans turning up to our games, because I think that's down to the way we play at times.
That being said, we sort of touched upon it on Monday. You did have the dog at Sutton against a pretty wily side.
Yeah, we did, and I think we've shown that we can show different elements to our game, and it's Jim made a good point to me after the game. He said if that was 4 games into the season, and it was my first 4 games, and we had a pre-season, and you look at it and go, you're rubbing your hands together because you know you've got a lot more to come and a lot to come because you're on the cusp of something. But with 3 games to go, you get an emotion and a disappointment because you know that the results are ultimately what matters right now. So yeah, you have to look at the performance. I thought we totally dominated that game. You know, and you got to remember they get the highest amount of blocks in the league for shots at their goal. They defend really well, really resiliently, and we dominated them at their ground, if you like.
What are you expecting from Colchester?
It's a really tricky one because they've been playing 4-2-3-1. Obviously, Wayne's there. I know Wayne. He's took over. They play 4-2-3-1. It's going to be a game where, similar to Crawley, where they're going to be playing free. Not massive things to play for them apart from pride. And they'll do that, and they'll come here and they'll give their all. And knowing Wayne from previous, I know that they'll do that with the character that he is. So we have to be ready to match that. So we've got to have that, like you called it earlier, the dog in us again, to be able to go and do what we did at Sutton was dominate, but add that little bit of flair because we're at home in our final third to get more end product, which we will. We'll have to defend key moments of the game as well.
One player who left them last season to Courtney Senior. How hard's this season been for him? Yeah,
naturally, when you have an injury, when it's a season-ending injury with an ACL rupture, it's a tough one because it's mentally draining, it's physically draining. But he's got on with it. He's working hard. He's part training with the group. He's not in contact yet. We're hoping that'll be next week, and then we'll see where he is.
I guess for him, it's almost, if you're still in it, it's probably his hopes of getting an appearance probably diminish, don't they? If there's stuff riding on it, I presume.
Well, no, yeah, it depends on state of play, injuries, and all different things. But he's been working terrifically hard with Tom and Lewis to get as fit as he can be.
Is the potential for him being here next year, or?
I don't know. I haven't had those conversations yet because I haven't seen him play yet. Only off footage that I've watched. But there's a few players in that position that are similar to Courtney. So, in the sense of that contracts are up, and that'll be something that we'll discuss towards the end of the season, if you like, which is not far away. When we know really where we're at.
Morning, James.
Hello, Luke.
You mentioned then about Colchester having the freedom that Crawley did. What do you have to do to kind of stop that freedom to own out?
So we got to do what we did against Sutton, where we made a little tactical tweak in the game where our number 10s played slightly wider than what they normally do. So we did that to try and enforce the issue of getting switched on against us, which Crawley did. So we rectified that. Thought as though we looked stronger for it at Crawley, bearing in mind that Colchester might shift it a little bit different to what Sutton do. But the focus then comes back onto us. Well, we just got to continue to have the belief that I feel as though we've had since I've been here.
A player you'll be quite familiar with from your time at Cardiff is Cameron Cox. Talk to me about him. What kind of player is he?
Cameron was obviously in the under-23s when I was at Cardiff. Then he was knocking around the first team. He's a very much an athletic modern-day fullback. Didn't play last week, but Cameron offers a lot going forward. He's very progressive in his play, and I've known him since he was a kid, because obviously he was in James Waite's group. So I've got a lot of time for Cameron. He's a good kid.
Last one from me. Sunday is the walk with dementia through Newport City Centre. How important is that for you to be involved in that campaign?
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going to be walking it. I'm going to take my little girl with me and do that. And I think Lewis Collins, Aaron Lewis, and James Waite are going to be doing it as well. So it's something that most charities, well, all charities that we can support, we support, because it affects everybody. It affects many people around the football club or associated with the football club, like a lot of things do. So we support it. I support it. It's really important that we do that, and it's that one club, one county feel that we've got you where we'll do, and I'll do everything that we can to support these charities.